Welcome back to Adventures in Freeze Drying. Today we are going to run Milky Way in our freeze dryer, and we're going to do this as a piggyback to my caramel M&Ms. I had thought Milky Ways are a little bit time consuming because one, you have to open up every single package first, and then you also have to cut each and every Milky Way. I start with fun size. I like the fun size, but they do not go into my machine as a fun size candy bar. I like to use food scissors, and I cut the fun size candy bar in half, and then each half into half the other direction. And I try to put the chocolate side down so that way the nougat and caramel can puff the way it's going to. Actually, the nougat doesn't really puff, it's the caramel that puffs. So these end up being quite interesting because you get the crunchy and you get the airy of the caramel. You'll notice I have spread these out. If I had more, I might make these 5 to a row, but they're going to expand quite a bit. The other thing you need to be prepared for is these are quite fragile when they're done. I would not put these in a bag. These belong in like a deli container in order to really move anywhere because they are very delicate and break down pretty easily. But we'll get these in as soon as my caramel M&Ms are completed. So my load of caramel M&Ms is just about done. I'm going to go ahead and get these pulled out. I already have those candies that I'm going to piggyback in, ready to go in because you don't want a bunch of downtime between loads. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and show you how to piggyback this. The first thing is simply to hit cancel and then do nothing else right now. You're going to wait to hit any other buttons until you get this candy out. So I've removed the previous load of candy and I've got these Milky Ways here that I promised to show you how I was going to freeze dry those. But I'm also have all 4 trays of candy loaded. I'm going to relock that down, close my drain valve, and then on here I'm going to hit start new candy batch. It takes it a second sometimes. Make sure the candy process is still on and click continue. Do I want to warm my trays? Or I can skip. Right now, because I have chocolate, I'm going to skip warming trays. And you can hear my pump just kicked in. So it's going to kick your pump in right away and not warm this candy up at all. So we'll see this in about 4 to 6 hours. We are just shy of 4 hours, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel the load. And then I'm going to hit no defrost because I'm not planning on running another candy load. And I'm going to come over and open up my drain valve so that way I can get into my machine. So I have my Milky Way right here. You'll notice they have puffed, but that the nougat part of the Milky Way does not, just the caramel part does. That chocolate's going to be super melty, so all of this is going to get pulled out and let sit for 15 minutes before we even attempt to get this packaged up. I have gone ahead and in this jar I'm going to use to store these in because I'm just going to have these out as a snack for when people come over. I am putting a dry and dry desiccant. This isn't for long-term storage, but this does, a desiccant will help with moisture. So these are super duper fragile. These do break up really easy. So it's important when you are putting these away that you not squeeze, you very gently handle them because these definitely like to break down. They're absolutely delicious because you get some crunch of the nougat, you get the chocolate, and then you get that caramely puff that just dissolves in your mouth all at the same time. So these are very, very good, just very, very delicate. Well, that one tray filled this jar all the way to the top, and I have 5 bites left. Now, remember, I cut my fun-size candy bars into 4, so it's just 1.5 fun-size candy bars. Go ahead and give this a taste quick. The nougat becomes light and crunchy. The caramel just melts. Very good. So that is your freeze-dried Milky Way. So happy freeze drying, and thank you for joining me on Adventures in Freeze Drying. We'll see you next time.